Hi everybody, it's Sandra. Thank you so much for coming to my video. We're going to have a look today at some of my eBay sales over the past week and a half or so. I sold some really great stuff and I got some great prices. Just so you know, we have been selling on eBay for, well, since 1998. I'm not smart enough to do that math, but however many years that is. We have 3 different eBay IDs, but the only one we talk about here on my channel is the Funky Pickle store. I guess that's about it. Let's get started. Let me know what you think and subscribe to the channel if you want. Thanks for coming. First up, I sold this really pretty sterling silver and amber bracelet and earring set. I got this at an auction, I think about a year ago. So I don't think it was terribly inexpensive, but I don't really remember exactly what I paid for it. It may have been in a lot of other sterling that I maybe paid a couple $100 for, but I think I'm already in the money on that lot, I think. So this one is pure profit, and that is called a Greek key design. This is really lovely, and I put the weight there just because it was a very substantial piece, and I sold that for $79.99. I found these Oleg Cassini paperweights in a thrift store many, many months ago. I thought for sure it was going to be a real winner, but as you can see, it didn't really sell for that much. But look how cool. They look like gigantic diamonds. Who wouldn't love those as paperweights? That is super fun. Each one is signed. They were new in the box, and I sold that box for $9.99. I think I might have paid $1 or $2 for it, so not great, but that's okay. I listed these yesterday and they sold within a couple of hours. I think these earrings are actually from a mystery box thing that I bought. I didn't even realize that these were in here until yesterday. I was just getting some stuff ready to bring to an auction that I'm going to be selling a lot of my jewelry and a lot of my things at in a couple of weeks. And I saw these earrings and I just thought they looked really good, you know. And then I saw that they are Givenchy. So that's a great name brand to look out for. There's what the signature looks like. And that's what the little logo thing looks like. So definitely didn't pay much for these, that's for sure. I did buy it now for $34.99 and I sold them right away. Pretty little earrings, right? I've been selling quite a few Beatles items lately from my own personal collection, but this item actually came from a jewelry store collection, believe it or not. A bunch of jewelry I bought. This was in there. This is a charm or a pendant. It says, yeah, yeah, yeah. This is an officially licensed Beatles item. We can tell that because it says NEMS on it, which stands for North End Music Store, which was their manager, Brian Epstein's family's music store. Anyway, did not pay much for this, and I sold it for $31.99. Last summer, I was at a yard sale, and the woman had a bunch of Tupperware, but it was all new Tupperware. So she told me she used to be a salesperson, and she went into the house and brought out a huge box for me. I bought a bunch of stuff. I actually kept some of it, and I didn't really list any of it. So the other day, I saw it sitting here, and I just said, let me just put very inexpensive prices on everything and just kind of get them out of here because they're taking up space. And yard sale season is coming up, and I really do need the room. So look at how cool these are. How much do you love those colors? Very 80s. Right, and there's the little thing from the little paper that the salesperson had kept with this, so you could see there were 4 Reheatable 9-ounce coffee mugs, and they sold for $20 in the day. They were new and unused, and I sold this set of 4 for $16.99. I was going through some old stuff recently, and I found that I still had a bunch of these. I think I have 6 or 4 of these. So this is the first one I sold. This is called a play tape. You cannot play this on any player other than the play tape player, which was something that didn't really catch on. So this is kind of a rare item, and people do collect the Beach Boys. You see this was on Capitol Records. It's an EP. It even says it right here, extended play, in case you don't know what EP is. It was new and still sealed. So I had it up for $35.99, but someone sent me an offer, I think, of $30. So I let this one go for $30 because I do have 3 or 4 more, and that's going to add up to some, well, at least triple digits for me. So pretty good sale, right? I'm in the money on these big time. I bought a box full of these many, many years ago at a yard sale, probably in the 1990s, actually. But I've sold them all through the years, and I just had kept those few. So it's time to get rid of them. I'm not really using them. I'm not displaying them. I don't have a play tape machine. So that's the reason that I'm going to be selling selling all of my play tapes. I bought a Loot Crate box at a yard sale for $10 about a year ago, and this I think is the last little bit of it. This is just a little patch Fight Club. It was pink, kind of cute. I'm totally in the money on this. I sold it for $9.99. Very small, very light, very easy to ship. I totally forgot I had this item. What a pretty plate is this? It has these 3 cats. It was kind of hard to get a good picture of it. So this is a Westmoreland, and this is a blue glass with 3 little cats. Isn't that cute? Sold that for $18.99. I think I paid $1 for this years ago. You may remember these items from a recent video. I just picked these up a few days ago. I can't remember. I think they're my mother's, or are they both of ours? I can't remember, but I'll figure out how to divvy up the money on these. So these are like push pins or drape or curtain sort of tie backs, although they don't really tie. So these have little pointy pin things, and you put your curtains to the side of your window, and then you push each of these through the fabric and directly into your wall. So I sold these 6 for $18.99. I can't remember what I paid for these. Probably $1 or $2. Look at this incredibly beautiful solid gold necklace. I got this many, many years ago at a yard sale, like maybe even the 1980s. We're going way, way back on this one. And I had kept it, you know, thinking that I would wear it, but I really do like kind of bulkier jewelry and bolder jewelry than these delicate little gold pieces. And gold just happens to be up so high at this point, so I decided to sell it. Look at that, more than 4 grams. It's 18 karat gold. This is a very desirable name brand, Una something. I don't know how to say that. Uno a rare? No, I don't know. That's probably wrong. But I know I didn't pay much for it, and I sold this one for $239.99. So that's a wonderful profit on an old gold item. Here's some more Tupperware items I sold. This was a set of 4, brand new, never used, really great divided trays. And I also sold to the same person this set of 4 right here. These are really cool colors. So I sold these plain blue ones for $12.99, and then I sold these for $16.99. I just did a buy it now. They sold right away. And then I had a set of 4 little, they were like dessert bowl kind of things. They were footed and they were sapphire blue. I was going to give them to the thrift store, but I just poked them in the box and gave them to this buyer for free. And by the way, if anybody watching bought any of my items from my eBay page, the Funky Pickle store, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. I know for a fact one of my YouTube viewers bought a bunch of my stuff. I'll let you know when that comes up. I found this in a thrift store for $1, and I thought I would take a chance. I had never heard of this before. My Little Kitchen, it said on the bottom. But it's so cute. I know people collect fairies. Look at her wings. And she's about to have a spot of tea. Look at her sitting on the little handle thing. Oh, look at the sugar cubes. How cute is that? Adorbs. So I paid $1, sold this one for $17.99. I really love that little thing. I have so many little items like this. Whenever I have extra time, I pull some out. I really like researching them. I think they're kind of cool to look at and everything. This one happens to be a Knights of Pythias item. It is clearly antique. Really very nice enameling. And it's a little pendant or a little charm, and I sold it for $14.99. When I go to auctions, sometimes I buy big box lots of stuff like this. So at this time, I probably have 100 or 200 of these types of things that I just have to go through whenever I have some time. This is a recent thrift store find. I think I paid $3 for this set, maybe $4. So it is sterling silver. It is some beautiful stones. Look how nice is that. I loved this piece. Look at the green. And it had these earrings. The earrings came with it. At first, I didn't think they went together, but I actually do think they go together because the stones and everything are the same. It's 18-inch chain. Isn't that nice? Nice profit on that. I sold this one for $31.99. Now we're going to get to a bunch of stuff that a YouTube viewer bought. So thank you so much. How awesome are you? I really do appreciate it. So first up, we have this Max Factor necklace. And this one is filled with that kind of solid perfume. Does anybody remember these from being a kid? I do. Look, it still had its perfume. It still smelled nice, too. Kind of a cool thing. 14 karat gold plated. There's the length. So pretty. I mean, you don't even have to use that, but in our day, or in my day, I should say, because people might be younger than me, but you would have something like this, and then you would just open it up and put a little bit of put a little bit of perfume wherever. It's kind of a fun item, I think. So I sold this one for $14.99. I don't remember where I got this. I didn't pay much for it though, and I sold this one for $14.99. I think I may have gotten this at a thrift store or an antique store not too long ago. I sold it for $19.99. It's so odd to me. It's sterling silver and it's a giraffe with a knot in its neck. I think it's kind of cute, right? So I sold that one for $19.99 to the same person. And I also sold my Dave Clark doll by Remco. That's supposed to be a drum around his neck. How cool is this? This was a yard sale find from a long time ago, though. I kept it all these years. I even forgot I had it. I think this was in my Zany box. I did a video on it. I was like, I just totally forgot about this thing. Really cute. I love Dave Clark 5. I'm sure I paid $1 for this or something many, many moons ago, and I sold it for $69.99. And here's another awesome rock and roll drummer. Here's my Ringo Star. These were in nice shape. They just they needed to be cleaned up a little bit. I mean, I cleaned them slightly, but I always get afraid when I clean things that I'm going to ruin them, if I don't really have the know-how. I wasn't sure exactly if I could dip it, or I didn't want to mess with the hair, so I just cleaned it a little bit, and I sold this one for $38. This Noah's Ark necklace is my mother's, so I have to give her the money for this. She got these, I think, at a yard sale. Well, she had 2 of them, so this is the second necklace that I've sold for her. And this had really awesome animals. Look, the 2 giraffes, 2 elephants. They had rhinestone eyes. 2 enamel zebras. I love the storks. And those baboons are really cute, too. I don't know if you can see them, but they're adorable. There is Noah and his wife, 2 penguins. That's what it looks like. Oh, and there's also the Ark on it, too. So this was a Joan Rivers, and I got $84.99 for this one. I'll be giving this money right to my mom. I got these little scatter pins recently. I don't remember where, but I know it was pretty recent. I probably put them in one of my haul videos, but I can't remember. So these are really cute. These are plastic jelly bellies, but they're not really jelly bellies because they're not clear. But anyway, it's kind of an acceptable colloquialism. We all call them jelly bellies. And I think they're really very cute. I love the pink color, and I probably paid $1 for the pair, maybe $2, don't remember, but I sold them for $12.99. I sold some more vintage underwear. I think these are either vintage 1990s or maybe early 2000s. Now, I think I have 7 more pair or 10 more pair of these. I mean, not pair, bags of these, because there's 3 in a bag. People like this exact thing, you likely can't get it anymore. So I sold 2 packages of these for $28 each. It's great profit in old underwear. Here's a beautiful sterling silver filigree cross. How pretty is this? Now, this was in a recent jewelry show that I did on some of my religious jewelry. Look at that. Almost 11.5 grams of silver, but look how big it is. This thing was really giant. It was more than 3 inches, not even including that bail. So when I was showing it, I didn't think it sold for much. And then when I looked it up on eBay, I realized that it did. So the name brand on this one, by the way, is Van Loo, and I sold this one for $39.99. How much do you love this Maltese cross? Isn't that fantastic? Look how big it is. Wow. I did an auction on this. I see that other people's went for like $150 or something, but that's okay. I only got one bid. I didn't pay much for it. I think I paid $1 for this one in a local thrift store near where my mom lives, and I sold this one for $40. Here's a cute little sterling silver pin that I got somewhere. I think this may have been in an antique store or a thrift store. I cannot remember, but I think I might have paid 2 or maybe 3 for this. So this one is marked, see that mark right there? GFMW, which stands for Great Falls Metalwork. So that's a thing. People collect it. I just think it's interesting. I like the way one is facing forward and the other 2 are facing backwards. I just like everything about it. I think it's kind of a cool item. So I sold this one for $16.99. Someone just gave me a bunch of DVDs for free, so that's what this one is. This one is still sealed. It's Atlas Shrugged, the trilogy, and I sold it for $15. I got this one for free too. I don't know anything about this. The Bible, the Epic miniseries. I don't know if this was on television. I'm not really sure what it is. You can see it's Blu-ray, still sealed, and I sold this one for $14.99 also. So there's a $30 profit just on some things that somebody gave me for free. I found these beautiful glass Waterford salt and pepper shakers in a thrift store. I think I paid $2 for these. They may have been $3. But the glass is very, very thick, and they are clearly signed Waterford. There it is. It says Marquis, I think. Yeah, Marquis Waterford. And there's the size. I like selling little things like this. They're so pretty and they're so little, so it's kind of easy to ship. Sold these for $28. This one took several months to sell, and I'm really, really surprised because it is beautiful. I love tennis bracelets. Who doesn't, right? And this one looked so real. If you ever wore this, there's not a person on the planet who wouldn't think this is real. Now, it is real. It's sterling silver, and those are actually real diamond chips also, believe it or not. This is by a company called Ross Simons, and I'll show you what the signature looks like. See that underneath where it says China? It's like an R, but it's kind of a weirdly shaped R. That's a sign for Ross Simons, a signature for Ross Simons. So pretty. I think I paid $2 for this in a yard sale, and I sold it for $18.99. That's a great item. I got these earrings over the summer. I actually found a bunch of very, very beautiful sterling silver earrings. They were all new on cards in a pawn store. And I think they might have been $5 each, but then I bought so many of them and I bought other stuff, so he knocked money off too because I paid cash. So I'm not really sure exactly, how much I'm in on these. They were marked ZZ. Those might be Native American, not sure, but look at the little opals. Isn't that pretty? Really nice. Sold these for $14.99. I bought these rock and roll trading cards a long, long time ago at a yard sale, and I only took one picture of these. That's pretty strange. But this was the entire set, 288 cards from 1991. It was all hair metal bands. It was really cool. I was surprised that they weren't really worth very much money. So what I did was, and this is a very, very bad habit of mine, if I buy a bunch of stuff and then some stuff isn't really worth that much, I don't bother with it. And then over time, that stuff really accumulates into all these totes. And I have to get better at that because then they just sit there and then I kind of take them out and then I look everything up again and I'm like, no, nothing really sells for that much. And then I put it back and I still keep it. So that's a bad habit. So that's the case with these. I realized that they weren't worth anything, or worth much, I should say, for how many there are and how much work really it would be to photograph them properly. You can see I only took one picture of them. So I then decided recently when I found them again for the 10th time in the same tote where they've been, I just decided that I was going to put them up. If I could only get 10 or 15, so be it. But they were not going to live with me anymore, though they were cool items and they were in beautiful condition. And I sold this whole set for $14.99. As I recall, I think I paid $5 for this whole set. So not a bad profit. A couple of years ago, I went to a yard sale and this guy was selling tons of collars and leashes too for dogs. And I don't know where he got them, but he had a lot of them, like maybe 200 of them or something like that. So I think I bought all of them for 20 or 25, I think. And I sold enough to really be in the profit big time. And I still have a lot of them left. And instead of putting them all up, because this one took probably 10 months to sell, I think I'm just going to put them in an auction and let somebody else bother with them because I don't have the time to sell them all one by one. Anyway, sold this little one. It's actually super cute. Look at the mugs of beer. Sold this one for $11.99. QVC and HSN items can be very good sellers. Now, I got this at a yard sale. I think I had 4 boxes of them, and each box had 3. And it's like a battery-operated candle, but I think it was one of those kind of, like it looks like a real flame. I think it went back and forth. So I sold this for $24.99. I think I paid $3 for three. So I think this whole box was $3 and sold it for 25. I bought a bunch of ET mugs at a thrift store a few months ago. They were $1 each. I thought I'd just take a chance on them. I think I have 5 or 6 of them. They're actually really cute. I love that it's blue inside. They were all new from Universal Studios. So mugs are kind of tough because I used to be able to ship them out cheaply. They always end up being more than a pound when they're packed. What I've usually done is I put them in little boxes and then I put them in padded priority envelopes. But those envelopes now are almost $10. They're like 9 or something. So that's really kind of gouging into the profits that I can make on coffee mugs. I don't like shipping them anyway. So I think I'm going to start steering clear of them. I mean, I try to anyhow. I really don't like shipping breakables. But I thought these ET ones were extra nice. But the ones that I have left, I'm probably just going to donate because the $11 after taxes and after fees and after bubble wrap and all that, it's not really worth my time. I've had this one up for a while. I got this at a yard sale. It was a young girl, and she had, maybe she was 19 or 20 or something. And she had a lot of really cool jewelry, and it was mostly peacocks and elephants because that's what she collected. And this was just such a great big bracelet. I love this cuff bracelet. It's cool, right? So I think that's Ganesha, which is that a Hindu thing or a Buddhist thing? Or I'm supposed to know that, I think, but I can't remember. So I think I probably paid $1 for this and I sold it for 15. You may or may not know this, but there are certain boxes that even if they're empty, they will sell on eBay. Tiffany boxes, Cartier boxes, and so on. So this box I actually got for free. It's a long story, but I gave a bunch of my jewelry, not jewelry, I gave a bunch of stuff to an auction and I accidentally had a couple of bags of jewelry in there that I didn't mean to sell. And I tried to get them to not stop the auction, but to pull some of my stuff out. And they weren't able to pull all of it, unfortunately. I don't even know what was in there. I shudder to think what I sold. I think I got $380 for what they did sell. The things that they could salvage, they took back for me like 10 minutes before the auction started. And when they sent me back my stuff, they had put a lot of it in this Cartier box. So anyway, it was a long story, but I guess I just told it anyway. Sold this one for $25. Got it for nothing, but yeah, not really happy with the circumstances, but it happens. Here's the last item I sold this week. I love selling old ephemera. Well, I love owning old ephemera because I like handling it and looking through it. So it's something that I'm interested in too. I don't really collect it, but I do really appreciate how pretty the ads are and the pictures are. I mean, look at that cover. Isn't that beautiful? This is from 1915. That's Mary Pickford. Of course, she was a star of silent movies. And I think she married Douglas Fairbanks. And along with Charlie Chaplin and I think D.W. Griffin, they started their own movie studio called United Artists. And the reason they wanted to start that is because they weren't making enough money as actors and they thought it was pretty lousy. So the 4 of them got together and started their own thing. Look, who is that? Ty Cobb. Never heard of him. Some sort of an old-time baseball player, I guess. Yeah, I just kind of went through and took pictures of some of the things that were interesting to me, but there really were a lot of great things in here. Look at how people used to dress to go to the theater. Can you imagine? Like if you go to Broadway now, and it's not a put down, but people have sweatpants on and stuff. It was just a different time. Even at church, right? People just come in with like sneakers. But yeah, not a judgment. It's okay. Come as you are. I mean, I do it too, but it must have been nice in those days, really, to even go to a movie theater in dresses and suits and hats and the whole thing. Different times. Anyway. I think I paid, this was part of a box lot, I believe, an ephemera box lot at an auction. I was totally in the money on that whole lot, and I sold this little magazine right here, this big magazine right here for $49.99. Well, that's all I have for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly hope this video was helpful to those of you who want to start an eBay business or any kind of internet business or a vintage business. If you can learn something from the things that I buy and make money on, I think that's just wonderful. Thanks again, everybody. I hope to catch you soon. Hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.